How to build a reading habit that lasts. In today's video I will share you my 7 strategies that help me to stay consistent over 1000 days of reading. Hey, my name is Vadim and let's get started. Tip number 1, find your ideal reading time. This is the most important part. What time is best for you? It's in the morning, it's in the evening. For me, it's the best time to read in the morning. I make my coffee, then drink my coffee and then read for 30 minutes in the morning. This is the first thing I do. Tip number 2, set a daily or year goals for how many books you want to read this year or how many pages or time you want to read per day. For example, I read 30 minutes, I started 1 hour, and you can start small like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and then leveled up if you're getting better. This was a big impact for me. I use Apple Books for all my reading so I can track my progress. If I hit my daily target for this day, this keep me motivated and I don't want to break my reading streak, so I read every time if I see this first thing on my phone or my iPad. Tip number 3, read books in digital form. Yes, reading books in physical form is nice, but it builds a lot of friction to start or to continue reading. If you have it in digital form on your phone or your iPad, you have always all the books with you and you can easy to read if you have waiting time. And how Steve Jobs said, you have 1000 books in your pocket. Tip number 4, choose an app which fit your needs. For example, I started with Kindle, but I switched to Apple Books because I like the layout more, and the big feature what I mentioned earlier is the progress tracking, the widget on your iPad. This makes me sure that I don't miss my reading habit. This is of course personal preference. Just choose one app and stick with it, and maybe you can try it later in other apps and then you will find your ideal tool for your reading journey. Tip number 5, read topics that you truly enjoy. Let me explain. If you pick a book about physics or black holes, you maybe will drop it after 5 seconds because you have no interest at all in this topic. Okay, of course, if you truly enjoy this topic, you will finish this book. For example, I started with small books, personal development, and later I leveled up based on my interest and curiosity. This is a good rule of thumb to follow your curiosity. If you discover a topic about, for example, money or health, so you will find the books about it and you want to know more about this topic, and then you level up. Tip number 6 is to ask you a question like how I will use this. You probably hear about this quote, knowledge is power, but if you read only books and you do nothing, don't take action, so the knowledge is nothing. The better approach is how I can use it in my real life or how I can implement it into my life. If you find something useful in this book, try to implement it to your life fast as possible and you test these ideas, and some of the ideas works for you, some of them don't. You do it like an experiment. A better quote will be, it's not knowledge that bring you power, but the action that you acquired from these books bring you truly power. Tip number 7, install a system. Make reading frictionless as possible. For example, how I do it, I have some shortcuts and different iPad focus modes. I can instantly with one click it's the right book and add the right notes. And of course, over time you will improve your systems, make it fun, make it enjoyable, and that you will looking forward to start your reading every day. Books is a great way to learn from people who really inspired you. Here a little secret, I don't read books anymore, I study them. Let me explain. Back in the days I tried to speed reading and more books, but I almost forgot everything I read. So I adjust my system. I have some keywords I want to know about some topics. Of course I read some chapters and it's speed reading, and if I find the specific keywords I slow down and then really study this phrase or this chapter more in detail, and then I apply it to my life. But don't worry about this too much. Start reading slowly and then you can level up. And the most important part, if you don't finish a book or you don't like a book after 5 pages, just drop it and start a new book. You don't have to read the book from cover to cover. If it's really boring to you, don't finish it. See books chapter like a blog post or article. Just skim through them, and if you find something interesting, you can read it and jump from chapter to chapter. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video or the tips, maybe you enjoyed my last video about my 4 short favorite books, consider to read them. And of course, if it was helpful, feel free to subscribe and write me in comments below what is your favorite books and what is your reading strike. Alright, then see you in the next one.